My name is Jane, and what I'm about to share isn't just my story, it's my mother's too. We both thought we had found love, hope, and healing in one man. But what we didn't know was that the very man who held our hands in moments of loneliness was the same man who was tearing our family apart behind closed doors. This is the story of how love blinded us, how betrayal shattered us, and how one man almost destroyed the bond between a mother and daughter forever. When my father died 2 years ago, my world shattered. He wasn't just my dad, he was my mom's best friend, her partner, her everything. Watching her fall into grief was like watching a flower slowly wilt. She tried to stay strong for me, but every night, I heard her muffled sobs through the thin walls of our home. Her name is Braxton, 41, graceful, beautiful, and far stronger than she knows. For 2 years, she refused to look at another man. She kept saying, "Jane, my heart is buried with your father." I believed her. I thought love was over for her, and honestly, I didn't want anyone to replace Dad either. But then, Jason entered our lives. I met Jason first. He was 29, charming, the kind of man who knew how to make a woman feel seen. We met at a coffee shop near my college. He bumped into me, spilled his drink, and instead of being annoyed, he made me laugh so hard that strangers turned to stare. Something about him felt magnetic. We exchanged numbers, and before long, we were texting daily. He was sweet, attentive, always asking about my classes, my dreams, my fears. For the first time since Dad's death, I felt light again. I thought I'd found someone who truly cared. What I didn't know was that Jason had already crossed paths with my mom too. One evening, I came home, and my mom had this strange glow about her. She was humming in the kitchen, making Dad's favorite meal, something she hadn't cooked in years. When I asked why, she brushed it off, saying she just felt good. But I saw it. The sparkle in her eyes. At first, I thought she was finally healing, finally stepping out of the shadow of grief. But in truth, Jason had already begun to weave his way into her heart. Neither of us knew. Neither of us suspected. Jason became my secret. I didn't tell Mom about him because I wasn't sure where it was going. I was afraid of her judging me for falling too quickly. At the same time, Mom kept her new source of happiness hidden too, afraid of how I'd react to her dating after Dad. Looking back, I realized Jason knew exactly what he was doing, playing both of us like pieces on a chessboard. He gave me youthful passion and gave my mother emotional comfort. We were blinded by his charm, believing he was exactly what each of us needed. The night everything started to change was when I casually mentioned to Jason that my mom was lonely sometimes. He laughed and said, maybe she just needs someone to remind her she's beautiful. I didn't think much of it then. But little did I know, he had already been doing exactly that. Jason became my world. Late-night calls, surprise visits, little notes tucked into my bag. He made me feel like the only girl in the universe. At least, that's what I thought. Meanwhile, my mom started dressing differently. She wore brighter colors, styled her hair more often, even started wearing perfume again. I was happy for her. After all, she deserved joy. But deep down, I was curious. Who was behind her sudden glow? One evening, I walked into the living room, and she was on the phone. Her voice was soft, playful, tones I hadn't heard since Dad. She quickly hung up when she saw me and smiled nervously. I didn't press her. I just assumed she was testing the waters of dating. But then, the lies began. Jason would cancel plans with me last minute, saying he had urgent work or that he wasn't feeling well. I believed him because love makes us blind. But on those same nights, Mom would come home late, her cheeks flushed, her smile suspiciously radiant. The truth began unraveling one Sunday afternoon. Jason and I had planned a movie date. But an hour before, he texted, "Sorry, something came up." Rain check. Disappointed, I decided to take a walk. As I passed by a restaurant downtown, I froze. There he was, Jason, sitting across from my mother. They were laughing, leaning close, her hand brushing his. My stomach twisted. At first, I thought, maybe it's innocent. Maybe he was just being kind to her because I had mentioned her loneliness. But then I saw it, the way he looked at her, the same way he looked at me. My heart raced. My mind screamed. I wanted to burst in, to demand answers, but I couldn't move. Instead, I turned and ran, tears blurring my vision. That night, I couldn't sleep. My chest felt heavy with betrayal. Was I overthinking? Could it be a misunderstanding? I told myself I'd confront him first, give him a chance to explain. But when I asked Jason the next day if he knew my mom, his answer was chilling. He smiled, leaned in, and whispered, "Jane, love is complicated. Sometimes hearts overlap." It was then I realized I wasn't just sharing a man with another woman. I was sharing him with my own mother. When the truth finally surfaced, it was explosive. Mom found out about Jason and me one evening when she overheard me on the phone with him. Her face went pale, her hands trembling. I still remember her voice cracking as she asked Jane, "Jason is the man I've been seeing. Please tell me this is a mistake." The room spun. We stared at each other, two women broken by the same man. In that moment, anger didn't divide us, it united us. Jason had fooled us both, playing on our vulnerabilities, my youth and longing for love, her grief and desire for companionship. He had slept in my bed and in hers, feeding us the same lies, the same promises. The confrontation was ugly. When we demanded answers, Jason didn't even flinch. He shrugged and said, "You both gave me what I needed. Why choose one when I could have both?" That was the day I saw the true face of betrayal. Not just in his arrogance, but in how easily love can blind even the strongest of hearts. Mom and I didn't speak for days after that. The shame, the guilt, the awkwardness, it was unbearable. But slowly, we began to heal. We realized that Jason wasn't worth destroying our bond. Yes, we had both been deceived, but we were victims of the same game. We chose forgiveness, not for Jason, but for ourselves. We cut ties with him completely and promised never to let another man come between us again. Today, when I look back, I see the lesson clearly. Love without respect is poison. And if we don't open our eyes, we risk losing not just ourselves, but the people who matter most. So, to anyone listening, guard your heart, but guard your family bond even more. Don't let a stranger destroy what blood has built. Because at the end of the day, lovers may come and go, but family is forever.